Our roadmap for today. 1. An ancient cellular invasion. 2. Architecture of the powerhouse. 3. The ATP energy factory. 4. The calcium communication network. And 5. Architects of cell death.
Section 1. An ancient cellular invasion. Tracing the discovery and origins.
So let's jump right into the history here. Our understanding definitely didn't happen overnight. It evolved over a full century. Back in 1857, physiologist Albert von Kolliker first noticed these intriguing little structures in insect muscle. Decades later, in 1898, Carl Benda coined the term mitochondria, which is just mashing up the Greek words for thread and granule based on how they looked under his microscope. But it really wasn't until 1957 that Philip Siekowitz published a Scientific American article that forever branded them with that powerhouse of the cell moniker. But you know what's truly mind-blowing? Their origin story. It's a process known as symbiogenesis or endosymbiotic theory. See, mitochondria actually have their own distinct genome, this maternal DNA that's remarkably similar to bacterial genomes. This groundbreaking finding led scientists to realize that mitochondria were literally once free-living bacteria. Eons ago, they were engulfed by our eukaryotic ancestors, but instead of being digested, they formed a permanent partnership. They are essentially captured alien organisms that have been repurposed to fuel our own biology. Section 2, Architecture of the Powerhouse. The intricate double membrane.
Because of that wild evolutionary past as a standalone cell, the organelle is compartmentalized into 5 really distinct anatomical parts. You've got the outer mitochondrial membrane, the inner membrane space sandwiched in the middle, the highly complex inner mitochondrial membrane, the deeply folded cristae space, and finally the matrix, which is that fluid-filled core. Every single one of these layers serves a highly specialized function.
Now, what's really fascinating is this stark contrast between the two main membranes. The outer membrane, it's a smooth, porous boundary mostly made of phosphatidylcholine. Think of it like a basic security fence. But the inner membrane is an absolute masterpiece of biological engineering. It's tightly folded into these labyrinths called cristae, and it's enriched with a specific lipid called cardiolipin. These intricate folds exist for one reason: to exponentially maximize surface area. For instance, in your liver cells, the inner membrane has 5 times the surface area of the outer one. It's a design perfectly optimized for high-capacity energy production. Section 3. The ATP energy factory. Fueling the cell. So how does this complex, labyrinth-like architecture actually solve the cell's massive, never-ending need for energy? Let's hit the factory floor. It operates in 3 distinct stages of cellular respiration to convert the food you eat into the cell's vital energy currency, ATP. Step 1 is glycolysis, happening out in the cytoplasm to break glucose down into pyruvate. Step 2, that pyruvate is imported into the matrix for the Krebs cycle, which strips away electrons and releases carbon dioxide. Finally, step 3, those electrons are sent to the electron transport chain, right on those folded inner membranes we just talked about, creating a massive electrochemical gradient that literally pumps out ATP. And that brings us to a really crucial number: 13. The big takeaway here is that by utilizing oxygen, this aerobic respiration yields about 13 times more ATP than anaerobic fermentation, which is, what cells are forced to do when they lack oxygen or lack mitochondria entirely. This astonishing 13-fold jump in energy efficiency is exactly what allowed life on Earth to evolve from simple single cells into complex multicellular organisms like you and me. Section 4. The calcium communication network. Signaling and homeostasis. Now, mitochondria aren't just mindless batteries constantly pumping out power. They're actually highly intelligent communication hubs, especially when it comes to calcium signaling. They have a massive capacity to sequester calcium ions inside their matrix using a specialized protein channel called the mitochondrial calcium uniporter, or MCU. But why? Well, because calcium is a fundamental signaling molecule in the body. When you exercise, calcium floods your muscle cells. The mitochondria actively take up this calcium to decode the signal, basically realizing, the cell is working hard, we need to immediately ramp up ATP production to match this demand. And their physical placement inside the cell? Totally strategic. By acting as a buffering barrier and soaking up excess calcium, they shape signaling pathways,
and control things like exocytosis, which is how cells release molecules. This means mitochondria are actively regulating everything from your immune cells activating, to your neurons firing, to your muscle fibers contracting right at this very second as you sit and watch this explainer.
They're working tirelessly to maintain this perfect balance. But it does beg a pretty dark and serious question. What happens if this ancient organelle becomes overwhelmed? Section 5. Architects of Cell Death. The executioner role in apoptosis.
When the powerhouse loses control, it drastically shifts its role from a vital energy provider to a literal cellular executioner. To understand this, we need to talk about apoptosis, programmed cell death. It sounds scary, for sure, but it's an absolutely essential biological mechanism. It's how our bodies sculpt tissues during development, maintain homeostasis, and crucially, how we protect ourselves by removing damaged, infected, or rogue cancerous cells. And the trigger for this self-destruct sequence lies squarely within the mitochondria. The tipping point happens under severe cellular stress. If the cell is damaged and the mitochondria take on a massive, unmanageable accumulation of calcium, it leads directly to a total collapse of the mitochondrial membrane potential. Remember that electrochemical gradient we talked about earlier? It completely fails. In biology, this collapse is recognized as the irreversible point of no return in the death cascade. Once that membrane potential collapses, the physical integrity of the outer mitochondrial membrane is compromised. A crucial protein called cytochrome C, which usually lives safely inside the crista helping make energy, suddenly leaks out into the cell's cytosol. And once outside, cytochrome C is incredibly dangerous. It activates a family of enzymes called caspases, which are essentially molecular scissors. These caspases systematically rip through the cell, damaging membranes and organelles, effectively dismantling and executing the cell from the inside out. It's a brilliant, almost poetic duality. They are the engine of complex life, providing the very energy that allows us to breathe, think, and move. Yet, at a moment's notice, they hold the power to completely destroy the cell that houses them. Which leaves us with a rather provocative final thought to take away from today's explainer. With their own DNA, their own agendas for division, and the ultimate kill switch to our biology, are we really the masters of ourselves? Or are we just highly evolved hosts to an ancient bacterial invasion? Think about that next time you hear them called just a powerhouse. Thanks for learning with us today.